What is up, everybody, and welcome to the city of Rome in Italy. I'm hanging out in my little Airbnb apartment, and I thought I'd just show you what I'm cooking for dinner tonight because it's a very simple, very cheap, very comforting and healthy dish that if you do it right, can cost about €1 to €2 per person. Super good if you're traveling for a long time, super good if you're just sick of dining out at restaurants. It's called pasta fagioli, pasta and beans. It's really my version of it with what I've found at the shops and what I've got here. It's delicious. We'll crack on right now. So, come over here, I've got this pan heating up. I'm going to chuck in, classically, a couple of good tablespoons of olive oil in there. Nice olive oil, very cheap here in Italy. And then we're going in with a chopped onion and some chopped garlic. 1 onion, 2 cloves of garlic. That's going to cost you about sort of maybe 50 euro cents or less. Probably less than that even to start off with. Now, I'll try and find some cooking equipment in here. We're using normal spoons tonight. Now, the first thing, when you're cooking onions, always season them up first. It helps to break down the onion and get some of that sweetness going. So a little pinch of salt going in there. With the garlic as well, just to get it sweaty off. And I'm also going to add in 2 little things. You know, if you're traveling around, get yourself some chili, some chili flakes or some little dried herbs, carry them with you, always good. I'm going to put in a couple of dashes of that, just for some flavour, and a little bit of black pepper as well. If you're traveling, I can't recommend enough, bring your own olive oil around, grab some salt and pepper and some little spices, bring them everywhere. You never know what your kitchens will be like when you get to a bed and breakfast. But, there we go. So we're going to toss it in bed and breakfast for just a minute, and we're also going to toss in now some diced zucchini. Now the vegetables in this dish, all up to you. If you want to dice up some carrots, some celery, some onions, some cabbage, whatever works for you, whatever you can find, whatever's cheap, whatever's seasonal, most importantly, get it and chuck it in this dish. So I've got 1 diced zucchini there. And the point of what we're doing here is we're just building up a nice base of flavour, savoury, sweet, and just really trying to pack in as many vegetables as possible, because when you're traveling around Italy, it's so tempting to grab a $1 pizza twice a day and just live off of dough and tomato sauce and cheese. It's delicious. It's not unhealthy, but you're missing out on all those vital fibers and nutrients that you get from vegetables. So I'm trying to pack in the whole lot tonight, so that's what we're having in this dish. So saute them around for, you know, just a couple of minutes, getting nice and sweet. And then we're going to go in with some just peeled tomatoes. This is like 50 to 70 cents a tin. Regular peeled tomatoes, nothing fancy. I'm going to chuck them in the pan over here as well. So, get them in, and then you want to get like a fork or a knife and just kind of break them up a little bit. Because if you're saving money, the peeled ones, the whole peeled ones are always cheaper than the pureed ones or the diced ones. Just a little hack there. And if you're trying to travel for a long time, you want to eat on the cheap, because you want to be able to save that money for those beautiful restaurants, those beautiful experiences, and every now and then just cook your own little tasty meal at home. So what we've got there, we've got the tomatoes diced up, and then get your tin of tomatoes, a little splash of water, get out all the goodness, toss that in there as well. And the next thing, we're just going to go in with some borlotti beans. Now, fagioli in Italian just means beans in general. Pasta and fagioli, you're going to use all sorts of beans. I'm sure the Italians watching will hate this recipe because it's probably not traditional, but the essence of it is you have some cheap pasta, you have some cheap beans, 2 ingredients that are natural. Beans are really good for you, fully full of protein, and they're great dry, they're great tinned, and so if you're traveling, you can grab this for, again, 60, 70 euro cents, and just cost yourself nothing. And when you put it all together, you're feeding 4 people here for literally like maybe €5 all up. So I'm going to chuck that in there, water and all. And a little tip, as always when you get these, just to taste the brine they're in. Sometimes you'll find it's actually quite well seasoned, and then it means you're going to have to add less salt to the finished dish. So what we've got in there, guys, right now, if you come in here close, check this out. Beautiful vegetables, tomatoes and beans simmering away. You could leave that and just have that as a side dish. You leave that to simmer for about 20 minutes, have it as a side dish. We're going to tweak it just a little bit at the end just to make it a bit more interesting with some pasta and some vegetables. Right now, that right there, leave it for 10-15 minutes just till that tomato kind of loses that raw flavor. It starts to cook down, get a little bit sweeter, and then all the flavors infuse together. And we'll come back to it in just a few minutes time. See you soon. Alright guys, this has been blipping away on the stove for about 10 minutes. Come check it out. It's just thickened up slightly. It's getting a little darker. All that flavors come together. You can see on the bottom of the pan, it's starting to get a nice sort of, starting to stick a little bit, and just starting to get that nice rustic savory tomato flavor. So now we're going to add in the pasta. And when you're making a soup like this, or like a stew almost, you want to get a pasta that's not too big, not too long. Ditalini, okay? It's the small version of ditali. Rigati means it's got the ridges on it. This is like a beautiful little pasta, and very classic for things like stews and soups and this sort of dish. So if you check this out close up, these tiny little, almost macaroni, almost like a penne, but much smaller. And the beautiful thing about this is when we cook this and it sucks up everything, it's going to be about the same size as the beans, and so you can eat it all with a spoon. It doesn't have to, you don't have to suck it up or anything. It's a nice easy dish. So we cooked for 2 people tonight. You can either do this for 4. I'm going to chuck in, this is a 500 gram packet, about a third of that packet into that stew there. Alright? And that's going to cook in the water. It says it cooks for 12 minutes. We're going to cook it for a little bit less. And because there's pasta in there, you need more moisture. So just top it up with another tin of that tomato water. Pop that in there. And I'm going to quickly talk to you about how we're going to finish it. So stir that in, and that's just going to bubble away. That ditalini is going to absorb all the goodness and just cook and thicken that sauce and just make it amazing. And we're going to leave that to cook for about 10 minutes. But firstly, we're going to throw in one final ingredient. So this is something called friarelli. I've been seeing this all over Italy, and for the last sort of month, this is on every menu in every restaurant. It's on pizzas, sandwiches, all sorts of stuff. It's like a brassica, which means it's come from the broccoli family. If you look at that, it looks almost a bit like broccolini. It's this beautiful bitter leaf with these broccoli flowers on top. And I've never really seen it in Australia, but it just tastes amazing, and you can tell it's good for you because it's such a dark leafy green. It's going to be full of iron, full of antioxidants. So what I'm going to do is take a big handful of that and just slice it up real simply. Roll it up and slice it. And we're going to chuck that into the pasta now, so it just has time to cook down with the pasta. And about 10 minutes in the liquid there, to suck it up all that goodness, adding an extra element of vegetable to this dish. That's what it's all about, getting good, cheap, healthy vegetables, protein and nutrients. And really guys, we're going to throw that in just as simply as that. And it's quite a hearty vegetable. If you're using spinach, you want to throw it in later on. This is almost like kale. It's got a bit of, dare I say, a bit of bollocks to it. So I'm going to stir that in. The colours, you can tell it's going to be delicious. The colours of Italy, the colours of freshness. And admittedly, it's a little bit too hot to be eating this dish right now. But I'm just so happy to be eating a cheap, tasty, nutritious bowl full of vegetables. I'm going to leave that on this simmer for 10 more minutes, just to cook that pasta through. And then we'll come back, we'll plate it up, we'll finish it off. It'll be amazing. See you soon. Guys, it's really hot in here, but dinner is done. Check this out. I'm going to bring this over there in a second, but if you look at this, we've got this beautiful kind of thick consistency now. The pasta is cooked, it's enlarged, it's sucked up some of that juice, but it's still about the same size as the beans, same size as the vegetables. So what we're going to do is bring this over onto your board. The last thing I'm going to do is just stir through a little bit of good olive oil just to finish it off. Amazing way to finish off any pasta dish. Just for that flavor of Italy, and it helps to kind of emulsify the sauce, make it even thicker and more beautiful. So I'm going to stir that in. The friarelli still has a little bit hint of freshness to it. It's not completely knackered yet. And as you can see, it's halfway between like a soup and a pasta dish or a stew. A couple ladlefuls of that really is going to fill you up more than you need. It's good quality carbs, vegetables, proteins. And look, that can easily feed a family of 4. A bit of crusty bread on the side. 4 or 5 euros, guys. Completely plant-based, full of vegetables, full of protein. That is my pasta and fagioli. You can do it too. Just get out there, try something different, and enjoy yourselves. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Buon appetito, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.
Once again.